Today, she and I are making cinghiale, wild boar, which starts with a battuto of carrots, celery, onions, garlic, and parsley.
All right, now, after we make the battuto, then we're just going to sit it aside while we brown the meat. And here at Spinocchia, we're very fortunate because there are wild boar on the property. So this is going to be really, really fresh and delicious. And this is something you need to start early in the day because for any stew, of course, it needs to cook for a long time. And we're going to be adding all these ingredients, which are products of Spinocchia, as well as the local wine. We're going to be using red wine in this. And while Gaetana is putting all of this in the macchina, I'm going to start to flour the meat. So to do that, you want to make sure, first of all, that you have your meat all cut up in large pieces. So here is this very nice looking cinghiale, or the wild boar. This is a typical dish in Tuscany, and there are many ways to prepare it. Some use tomatoes, some use wine. I like to use wine. E un po' di rosmarino. So you want to wash and dry the meat off, and then have ready some flour. So here we have some flour that I've added some black pepper and some salt to. And you mix that up with your hands, and then you want to flour the meat. So you take the meat in sections, depending on how many people you're feeding. And tonight, we're feeding about 35 to 40 people here at Spinocchia. So you flour the meat, and you want to shake off the excess so you don't have too much flour on there. Getting it all nicely coated. And this is a real treat because we really can't get this at home the way they have it here in Tuscany. I mean, you can find boar meat, but if you can't find this, you could use beef in place of the boar. Meanwhile, while I'm flouring this, I've got some olive oil heating up in a large pot because we want to brown the meat first. Then we're going to add the battuto and the wine and let this cook for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and the stew is ready. So now we're putting in red wine. Sì, ancora. Perché ci sono troppo carne. Okay, and then you want to let this evaporate a little bit before we put in a little bit more, un po' più di vino. Sì. Ah, basta. Okay, so, allora, that's good, and now Gaetana has prepared the battuto. Sì, ok, si mette tutto, si mette tutto. Sì, un buon lavoro. And now we're going to allow this whole stew to cook covered. Once I stir this in, look at how beautiful this looks. Un bel colore, sì? E un buon sapore.
Sì, molto profumo.
Sì. And here we have that wonderful wild boar stew that Gaetana made. Brava signora! It has wonderful flavor with that wine that we used and the battuto.